Alright, what's going on, guys? UsingActionzz here. Welcome to Telltale's The Walking Dead Season 2 Characters Tier List. I did a video just like this after I finished Season 1 of The Walking Dead, and I figured you guys enjoyed it, so let's continue on this mini-series behind the big series, I guess. I don't know. It's a bunch of mumbo-jumbo, but nonetheless, first thing you might notice is this is a lot shorter than Season's 1 tier list was, because there's a lot less characters. I could go ahead if I wanted to, really stretch the video out. I could put all the 400 days characters in this list as well, because we do see them technically in Season 2, but I already did them in my first tier list video, so we're not going to do that. We're just going to do these characters I have here, as you can see. Don't mind this, the people down here. These are, a lot of these people are from Season 1, but they're also from Season 3 and 4, so we'll get to them eventually. I will be playing those seasons on the channel as well, but nonetheless, enough of me blabbering on, and let's go ahead and get into this tier list. So first character, of course, we have Clementine. This is a different picture of her than we see her in Season 2, but nonetheless, she is going to go exactly where she went in my Season 1 tier list, and that is God tier. Amazing character. She's becoming more of a badass, she's growing up in this zombie apocalypse world. She's figuring out how to survive, who she can trust, who she can't trust, and I actually made some very interesting decisions that a lot of people kind of questioned, I guess. If you guys haven't seen my Season 2 walkthrough, I will leave a link to that in the description. Make sure you go check that out. And obviously, I should have mentioned this first, but there's going to be spoilers to Walking Dead Season 2, obviously. So, let's continue. Next character we have is Krista, and of course, Omid. Sadly, spoiler alert, Omid does die like the first 10-15 minutes of the game. That kind of sucks. And then, very shortly after that, like a solid 5-10 minutes after Omid dies, Krista dies. But in game time, it's like 16 months later. But nonetheless, we lose both these characters very early in the game, and it's very sad. But I do like them a lot. I don't think I'm going to put them on S tier. I'm going to put Krista here. I like Omid more than Krista, though, because I thought he was really funny. So we're going to put Omid a little bit above Krista. Krista's cool, but, they were with us in Season 1, so that makes them kind of OG, got to put them up there. Next up, we have Sam, the dog, who was really cool at first. And then he bit Clementine's arm trying to get some beans, even though I tried to feed the man. But nonetheless, it's a dog. You gotta love dogs, right? Dogs, cats, you gotta love them all. They're just all adorable. So Sam, you know what? You're going up here with Krista. I love how I'm putting a dog that's in the game for like 20 minutes, up here in the higher tiers. But it's a dog. I love dogs. So simple. Up there. Next up, we have Pete. Now, once again, Pete does die very early, basically at the beginning of episode 2 in the game, but he was a really cool guy while he was alive. I liked him, so we're gonna go ahead and put him right up there. Oh, you know what? We'll put him right there with Krista and the dog. He's not on the same level as Omid with me, even though we don't really get to know Omid that well. I still liked him as a character, so. And next up, we have Luke. Now, Luke is one of my favorite characters in the season. We're gonna go ahead and put him right up here with Omid. Not quite God tier, but I really do like Luke as a character. He's kind of the hero type, and spoiler alert, I think that's kind of what gets him killed, but nonetheless, he's a great character while he was around. Next up, we have Carlos, the doctor, who, I might as well just let you know now. Basically, all these characters die. Well, besides a few. Most of them die, though, but nonetheless, Carlos does die. He was okay. He was kind of a scumbag a few times to Clementine. I don't know. Maybe I just made the wrong decisions and made him think that way. Nonetheless, we're going to put him a little bit below average. I didn't like him that much. So, if you guys, obviously B is like the most average. This is upper. This is lower. Yeah, I'll put him like right below average. Next up, we have Nick. And Nick is just really stupid. I mean, he tries to redeem himself, but he's just so dumb. Like, he just makes stupid decisions. He can be kind of a scumbag at times, so I'm going to put him right next to Carlos there. I think they look good right there. Next up, we have Alvin. Alvin was a nice guy. He never really did that much to advance the plot or anything, but nonetheless, he was a nice guy. He was okay. So I'm going to go ahead and put him in average tier. I liked him. I definitely liked Alvin more than Carlos and Nick, so we'll put him in the average tier. Next up, we have Rebecca. Rebecca was honestly really mean the entire game, like, except for her last few moments. She was honestly just kind of a jerk. I mean, I get it. She was like, pregnant, about to have her baby in the zombie apocalypse. Who wouldn't be a little stressed out and worried, right? Like, I understand, but you don't got to be a scumbag to a little kid, especially Clementine, you know what I'm saying? So We're gonna go ahead and put her here. She's not quite the worst, but she fits well with Nick and Carlos. Next up, we have Sarah. Terrible character, worst character by far in the entire game. Oh my god, I could not stand her. It's impossible to save her. Like, I tried to save her the first time and I did, and then later she goes on to fall off a deck into a horde of zombies and just get ate alive. So she was always just causing trouble, making stupid decisions. She's just dumb. She's like the Duck of season 2. If you guys know Duck from season 1, he's just really annoying, always made bad decisions. That's Sarah for this game. So Sarah, one of the worst characters. Next up, we have Carver. Now, I know a lot of people would expect me to put Carver, you know, right here next to Sarah, because I mean, he's terrible. He's a terrible person. He's the leader of the camp. He's very strict. He's very mean. He's very ruthless. But you know what? Even though he is like the main bad guy of the game, like you hate him. All the characters hate him. Everybody hates him. But he's a good bad guy. You know, like, yeah, he's bad, but he's a good bad guy. So I'm going to put him, I either want to put him at the S or A rank because he's a really good bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a good character. He has depth. He's mean. He's ruthless. I think I'm going to put him right there because I don't want to put him on the same level as Luke and Omid, but he's really good at what he does. He's really good at being an asshole. So we're going to put him there. Next character, of course, we have Kenneth Kenny. I made a very interesting choice in my playthrough when it came to Kenny. So if you want to know what that is, feel free to check out my walkthrough. But nonetheless, Kenny, he's going to go right where I put him. I think I put him, or maybe I put him right below God tier. But I've known the man since episode 1 of the entire Walking Dead series. Like, you know, he's an OG. He's awesome. So we got to put him, you know, of course not as good as Clementine, but up there with her nonetheless. Next up, we have Walter, who was with Kenny, and he's one of his friends. He was an alright character. He never really, I mean, he was only in the game for a brief section. Never did anything that great. I mean, he was a nice guy, but he was like overly nice, just like handing out food and helped whoever, which is nice, don't get me wrong. But in a zombie apocalypse, I think you need to be a little more self-aware of what you're doing and what's going on around you. I feel like he was kind of blind to everything, so I'm going to put him here. He was a nice guy, but just, I don't know, I didn't really like him that much. Next up, we have Sarita, who was Kenny's girlfriend, I guess. I don't think it was his wife, but it was his girlfriend. She was really nice. Once again, didn't really have a whole lot to do with the plot or anything crazy. She does die. I don't know, man. I think I'd put her with Alvin. Yeah, I can see them on the same basis there. Moving on, we have Bonnie. Bonnie was okay at first, and then I hated her. I'm not gonna get into like a whole lot of the story, but the choices she made with 2 other people made me hate her. So we're gonna put her right down here with Sarah as well. Next up, we have Troy, which was Carver's, you know, second in command, basically. He's the guy that, you know, walked around with an AK and just pointed it at your back and screamed everything you're doing wrong all the time. So I don't know, he was really annoying, but then again, he was a good villain. Like, you wanted him to die. You wanted him to just disappear, right? So I'm going to put him with the average characters. Not because, you know, he's as good as these people, but he was a good bad guy. So I can get behind that. I can support that. So next character we have is Reggie, who apparently he helped the group, the main group you run into with, like, you know, Luke and Carlos and Pete and all them at first. He helped them escape Carver's camp for the first time, so I guess he was an alright guy. He does die, sadly, so I'm gonna just put him right there. I mean, he kind of serves like Walter did. He's just in the game for a very brief moment to kind of show off a few things. And Carver, actually, now I'm thinking about it, Carver does kill each of these guys, but nonetheless, moving on, we have Jane. This is a very weird picture of Jane, but nonetheless, this is Jane. And Jane, I'm surprised the game does this. Spoiler alert once again. But at the end of episode 5 in season 2, you have a choice to kill Jane or kill Kenny. So I think the developers planned on some people really getting behind Jane and helping Jane rather than helping Kenny. And I always thought that was kind of crazy. Like, personally, I've always kind of favored Kenny. But Jane was a good character nonetheless. She had a lot to her story, and I think a lot of it we didn't even really get into. But she had a very dark past, a very dark childhood, all that kind of stuff. And she was more of that, she was kind of like that lone wolf survivor, which I can get behind, but she was also selfish when it was, when it came down to the rest of the group and Clementine and everything. But she was a good character nonetheless. I'm going to put her right up here with Luke and Omid. And next up, we have Mike, who was a nice guy at first, and then him and Bonnie kind of, she was part of the group that Bonnie and, well, next up here, we have Arvo, but I'm going to put him up here. I like him more than Bonnie, but he was still a scumbag for the choice he made. And then last character we have is Arvo, who I was nice to. Earlier in the game, you get an option to steal his medicine, and I chose not to because I'm not a thief, I'm not a raider, I'm not a robber, I don't do that. And so I let him keep his medicine and go on his way. And then in the next chapter, in the next episode, he sets us up for an ambush, almost gets us all killed. And then later, he shoots Clementine and tries to steal all our supplies and leave. So, terrible character. Absolute scumbag. Probably, I don't know, it's between him and Sarah. Because they're both just awful characters for my least favorite character. But nonetheless, guys, this is a lot shorter than Season's 1 tier list. But nonetheless, this is my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 2 characters. Let me know if you agree. Of course, the link to this tier list will be in the description below if you guys want to do it for yourself. And let me know, what you would change, who you would put where, and all that kind of stuff. So, with that being said, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like button. If you guys are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.